Hey, shalom, shalom, Makim. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to our powers, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rucha HaKodesh. Hey, give it double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have taught us this truth that are constantly willing well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Hey, peace, mercy, and blessings to the beloved Akim that are out there pushing this word wholeheartedly in truth and in sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly staying on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are truly living in. Even shalom to the few sisters, the Aquafs that are out there, and even shalom to the Israelite foreigners, those that may look like the other nations, but their seed line goes back into our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm the brother Ira, coming back with another lesson to the Lord willing, edifying, feed the lamb to the Lord, which Lord willing's lesson is edifying, concise, and straight to the point. All right. And all right, these tariffs, which they're nothing more than just taxes, all right, that, is all throughout the news right now. All right, Trump against these other countries, especially like China, all right, Canada, Mexico. Those are some names that have been thrown out there. All right, but they're starting to already have an impact, especially over here in Cali, all right, because, even unleaded gas, which was under $5, is now above $5 right now. All right, and hey, the prices could continuously keep going up. All right, the longer this thing plays out, which, that's just one portion of the daily uses of, life that people need in order to get around. But what about groceries? What about, clothes? What about, other things that people rely on, all right, that they could barely afford. All right, so, I could foresee that the impact of this, trade war, because really that's what it leads into, is a trade war, all right, is definitely going to impact the lower class working citizens, all right, because see what happens is that these businesses that take on these tariffs, they get charged first. So what they do is, if they made a $50 profit off of a foreign good, okay, because majority of Americans, they don't want to buy these high price tax American goods, okay, they rather deal with the foreign goods. Then they lose out on money, these businesses, all right, so that means that they got to cut more people off, all right, that means that they got to try to keep the same margin, or I want to say it's called liquidation, for them to even keep that money coming in. All right, so we could see, we could very well start seeing a lot take place, all right, as this thing, rolls along. So let me play a little bit of this just to get an idea of how these kind of tariffs work. So I'm gonna start from the 7-minute mark. So let's play this right here.
It could be massive. I agree. It's going to have a massive effect, positive effect. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Okay, now let's answer this question. Who pays the tariff? Is it the foreign country? Is it the consumer? Or is it the importer? So think of what you think is the correct answer, but first let me show you what Trump says.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs.
Okay, so according to Trump, a tariff is a tax on a foreign country. So that may be his interpretation, but let me tell you how it works. So the question is, who pays the tariff? Okay, so when Walmart imports goods from China, Walmart pays the tariff. So let's just say that Walmart imports a vacuum cleaner from China to sell in America. So let's say that Walmart buys the vacuum for $100 and they sell it for $150, and they make a $50 profit. Now, if there's a 10% tariff, then Walmart buys the vacuum for $100, but they need to pay a $10 tax to the government. If they continue to sell the vacuum for $150, then Walmart's profits will go down from 50 to 40. Now, in order to maintain their $50 profits, Walmart will increase the price of the vacuum from $150 to $160. So essentially, the tax gets passed on to the consumer. And then the end result is that Americans end up paying $10 more for a vacuum. But then you can make the argument that Americans can choose to buy a vacuum cleaner that's made in America. But look at the vacuums made in America. You know how much a Kirby vacuum costs? It's like $500. Like, I'm not going to spend $500 on a vacuum cleaner. Or you can buy a Hoover, but those are still more expensive, around $180. So again, the U.S. consumer ends up paying more in many instances when there are no cheaper made in America alternatives. Okay, so Walmart pays the tax. They pass the additional cost onto the U.S. consumer. Now, where does the tax money go? Walmart sends it to the U.S. Treasury, and it becomes more money for the government to spend. Now, let's talk about this. How much more tax money are we talking about? Like, what's the potential of the new tax revenue for the U.S. government? Robinhood money are we talking about? Like, what's the potential of the new tax revenue for the U.S. government? So in 2024, the U.S. government collected a total of nearly $5 trillion in tax collections. A 10% tariff on all imports is expected to bring in $400 billion of new taxes each year. So therefore, a 10% tariff would bring in about 8% of what the government currently collects. So it would not be anywhere close enough to fund the entire government. Now, I know what some people are going to argue, but I'm already 2 steps ahead of the argument. People will argue that 100 years ago, 93% of the federal government's revenues came from tariffs. So in other words, we don't need an income tax. We can just go with tariffs. America has done it before.
All right, which this is, this ain't nothing new. All right, because, this was something that was going on during the Roman Empire. All right, taxes have pretty much been around for quite some time. Okay, this is Luke chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city." All right, so dealing with, all right, the different goods that are being transported. Okay, all right, this is something that was taking place then. But you see, when Jake got to pay more, and they already dealing with harsh and hard situations, okay, it puts people's back against the wall. All right, causing people to rise up against the government. All right, insurrection, rebellious situations take place. Okay, so this can have a major triple effect, or ripple effect, I'm sorry, upon what goes on inside of the shores of America. Okay, all right. People could come to the boiling point of snapping and losing it. Okay, because this is going to put pressure on Jake that's already out here doing bad. Because the people that's out here that are doing okay for themselves, making $100,000, maybe $200,000 a year, you know what I'm saying, that they're kind of more well off. Well, it's going to be like a pinch to them. You know what I'm saying? They might have to, spend a little bit extra money, but they're pretty much financially secure. But most Jakes, the average Jake, is not financially secure out here. All right. And with it being bad enough, I'm gonna pretty much leave it right there with that. All right, 'cause, a little one, I'll push the link in the description box, but it's pretty much Trump's tariffs kind of explained, kind of keeping it simple. But what we're gonna start seeing is more layoffs. All right, what we're gonna start seeing is more layoffs, more people losing their jobs, because see, like I may mention, when these businesses got to cut back, okay, hey, they're thinking about what they're paying out as far as what they're dishing to their employees. Okay, so if they're giving you benefits, medical, dental, so on and so forth, you know what I'm saying, they paying you hourly wages. All right, well, they're going to start thinking of ways to cut the costs in order for them to make those profits. All right, and that's another avenue for more people to be hurting. And shit, being here in America, shit, with no money, you can't do nothing. All right, and you still got an influx going on with the unemployment, where most people nowadays can't even get on unemployment because of how hard it is. All right, and so many people are still in the mindset that they don't want to work. All right, so hey, all hell is getting ready to break loose. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you bend the people, all right, eventually the people come to a snapping point. All right, so call him la how about Shema Shai, but let's watch some of this.
Is going to feel the effects of President Trump's tariffs that he placed on other countries. Millions of Americans are going to feel the pain. Some are going to thrive, others are going to absolutely suffer. Today, we're hearing more reports that companies are going to have to lay off employees as we start to follow through with these tariffs. The longer they go on, the more layoffs we're going to see. Well, I'm going to break all this down, explain what is going on, and which companies are likely to feel the most pain. There is actually a certain store that is going to feel a lot of pain simply because of all the tariffs. So I'm going to explain all this in just a moment, explain what is going on, and how you will be impacted moving forward. But before I do, all I ask is one. According to many economists, they believe that President Trump isn't set out on this, path to completely dismantle the United States. What he's trying to do is he is showing other countries that the United States is backing his idea of imposing tariffs on other nations to ensure that there's fair trade. Now, here's the problem. Millions and millions of Americans, specifically the lower middle income households and below, are going to be the ones that are impacted the most and hit the hardest. But I want to show you this. This says more than 2,500 stores are closing across the U.S. this year. However, there are more than 2,500 stores. We are seeing Big Lots is closing some of their stores. We are seeing Macy's is closing some. Joann Fabrics is closing some of theirs. Advanced Auto Parts is closing their. Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS.
And mind you, keep this in mind, all right? Where when it looks like there's money being lost, the money's not being lost, all right? There's a major wealth being transferred, all right? And it's going into the pockets of the elites, all right? Into the pockets of the rich, the real wealthy, okay? That's where all the assets and the money is going. Okay, so they're lining themselves up while the rest of the people mourn. Okay, all right, and like we've been saying through the Holy Spirit, they don't have your best interests. Okay, let me get a quick precept real fast, all right, because it just came to my mind. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 30. Okay, verse 1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." All right, so you believe that your protection, okay, your well-being was going to be set forth or grounded by trusting in this government, okay? All right, but they had you on a delusion, a spell the whole time, all right? And this is why, it's imperative that as you tribes that are out there, it's time to get yourself right by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, okay? All right, because you're getting ready to find out real soon that, all right, Esau has always been the devil, just like the prophets have been telling you, okay? Okay, and this is part of them showing you, but in a sense, they're camouflaging what they're doing by smooth words, make America great. And even these Edomites that understand very well what's going on, they're even like, oh hell no, this is not what we signed up for. So there's a major division that is taking place out here as we speak, okay? All right, because a lot of these Edomites are being impacted as well. All right, and they're not liking it. They bought into the bullshit. They drunk the Kool-Aid, but now they're really seeing what the hell is going on, and it's not exactly what Trump was really talking about. All right, so let me read one more verse. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." All right, and a lot of people out here are getting ready to be in a state of confusion, wondering what the hell happened. All right, especially you tribes, man. All right, let me get another precept. This is Proverbs 10, and let's go to verse 2. It says, treasure of wickedness profiteth nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. Okay. All right, when times get hard, okay, those that have stored up their riches in heaven, those that have turned and sacrificed their lives for Yahweh by Shema B'Shai, all right, the elect are getting ready to cash out when times get even worse, all right, because times is hard for us all, you know. Jobs are being lost, brothers is barely scraping to get by, you know what I'm saying? All right. But we have faith. We have faith in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Okay. And that's the difference. We believe that the Lord is going to give us the things that we don't have. Okay. Especially when we don't have access to it. But for the majority of the world is going to rely on what? Esau to provide these things. All right. And we know through the spirit, all right, what people are going to do, all right, when they can't get what they need. They're going to comply to the demand that is going to be forced upon them. All right, let's go to verse 3. It says, the Lord will not suffer the souls of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. All right, and everybody's getting ready to be brought low to the same level playing field real soon. All right, because hey, it's getting ready to get bad out here. But let's go back. All right, let's go back. Let's watch some more of this. I'm not gonna make this too long.
Arts closing their Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, right? The list goes on and on. 7-Eleven is even closing, I believe, like 400 plus stores. This is a massive, massive hit. And this was all before the tariffs hit the other nations. Here's the problem, though. Look at this. JCPenney shoppers given warning as store closures announced across 8 states. This was just a few days ago. Here's what you need to understand. JCPenney purchases a lot of their goods from other countries. Think about Nike, for example. Nike, they make a lot of their goods in Vietnam. Well, look at this right here. This is the reciprocal tariff chart. This shows exactly what other countries are going to be hit with. Well, let's go find Vietnam. Well, it is, where's it at? Vietnam. It's up here at the top. 46%. That is the tariff they're going to be hit with. 46%. You have Thailand down here at 36%. You have Cambodia at 49%. If any company purchases products or they have a supplier in one of these countries, well, it's going to be hit hard. For instance, Thailand, for example, a lot of products are from companies like Ford. They have manufacturing in Thailand. GE, General Electric, they do the same thing.
Yeah, ain't nobody, if you got a $200 pair of shoes, ain't nobody about to spend $600 for some shoes that's worth $200. You know, you got a $20,000 car, you know, you ain't about to spend, you know, $50,000 for crap. All right, so just know that the more that the tariffs, the price is going to go up, the more that you got to spend. All right, so if you ain't got nothing to spend, you can't buy shit. All right, so who's going to be the one that's hurting the most? The lower class citizens. All right, the working class citizens. You know. All right, so we'll see what this causes. I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna make this too long. You know, this is from the Snyder Report, just kind of, you know, roughly hearing what he had to say. Okay. Let's go to Second Esdras real fast. Okay, Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Let's go there. And the let me see. I think it's the 9th verse. Okay, yep. Second Esdras 15:11. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and would destroy all the land thereof. All right, and this is considered a plague. All right, the Lord did this once to Egypt. He cut off, okay, the resources from Egypt. All right, when you go into the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, read into that chapter. It's a real good chapter talking about what took place in Egypt. All right, the same thing is happening now. Okay, it says, and this is spiritual Egypt, all right, America, all right. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and the punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fell through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful consolation. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. See, woe is a bad time. It's something evil, not good, not talks of peace, harmony, okay, tranquility, all right. No, woes, all right, destruction, perils, lamentations, all right. That's what's coming to this place, all right. Tribulation, all right. You're being pressed, okay, all right, and you're getting ready to feel the burn, and it's a it's a slow friction of a heat, but it's getting ready to get turned up to where you're getting ready to get fried out here. You're getting ready to be fried, you know, all right, and this is what the scriptures speak of. This is what Yahweh Shai prophesied of, okay, in Matthew 24th chapter, all right. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, okay. So people ain't gonna stand for the bullshit. Eventually the Lord's gonna put the spirit on the people to just rise up, and it's going to be definitely a civil war out here, okay, war in the streets, you know what I'm saying, all right, and that's what we're looking for, because it's all part of prophecy. These Edomites are making moves, and the Lord throws monkey wrenches in, all right, to utterly fulfill, to further prophecy, to utterly further prophecy, okay. Why these Edomites think that they can make the golden age come back and do what they do to be back in their heydays, that's not the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right. So it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and according to their actions shall stand in their power, all right. So people getting ready to be cutthroat, all right. They're getting ready to turn on one another, every man for themselves, okay. And this is why we got to stay prayed up. This is why we got to stay near the water. This is why we got to continuously pray, you know. All right, keep leaning on Yahweh Bashim Shai, because when it goes down, it's getting ready to go down out here in these streets, all right. So the Lord says he's not going to forsake those that truly believe on him. Have the righteous ever been forsaken? That let me get that as well, all right. Just another precept, just something quick, all right. The righteous have not been forsaken, all right. Did I spell that right? No, as well, and I did. I want to say it's in Psalms, maybe the 37th chapter. Yep. This is Psalms 37:1. I have been young and now and old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. All right. So the Lord's not going to have us low like that, to where we out here, all right, not having what we need, all right. The Lord's going to allow us just to get by, stay afloat, all right. But you got to get right by the Lord. You got to do what you got to do, all right, in order to receive those mercies from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay. Because the Lord's going to allow people to be out here starving, all right, cold, all right, thirsty, okay, all right, begging, you know, for relief, a sense of relief, all right. Hey, our minds are going to be mentally secure, okay. Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of our times, all right. And it's the faith that the Lord's going to put upon the elect, because, hey, the elect is going to have an enduring spirit. He that endureth to the end shall be saved. Somebody got to be saved, all right. So the elect ain't going to burst like pipes, all right, when the pressure is too high. So this is something quick to the Holy Spirit. Lord wants us edifying to the Lord's elect, giving all praise, glory, and honor to our powers, Yahweh Bashim Shai, and it's on to the next. Shalom.